And after Julius Brents from Kansas State put up the numbers that he put up today, I think that he is possibly the Steelers' guy heading into the NFL draft because he's not going to be a rush at 17, but I think he worked his way into that early second round stage. And the Steelers got the first pick in the second draft or in the second round. So they don't got to worry about anything. I want to talk about Brents. He jumped, it was a 41.5 vertical jump. He's 6'4", so he's ginormous out of Kansas State. He had a phenomenal Senior Bowl with highlights just popping up all over the draft world. 11.6 broad jump, I'm pretty sure, which is nuts for this guy. His athleticism is insane. Meanwhile, Joey Porter Jr. had 34-inch arms, ran a 4.47, which is nuts. And yesterday he went on a whole thing. He had probably 60 people standing around his podium as he was talking at the NFL Combine. I'm talking about Joey Porter Jr. And the first 10 questions were about his time growing up in Pittsburgh, and then there was like 4 questions about if he met with this team or that team or this team, and then the next 12 questions were about growing up in Pittsburgh and how much it would mean and his dad and the whole nine. I was very impressed with Joey Porter Jr. Super impressed with Joey Porter Jr. I think he's a phenomenal kid. I would love for the Pittsburgh Steelers to draft him just so that I get to talk to him all the time. I think he fits well. I don't think there's a better situation than ending up in the same city as your dad, who has already been a successful NFL player, who's a great mentor. I just don't think there's a better fit there, and I think the Steelers would see that. At the same time, I am so overly impressed with Julius Brents that I think that's the guy. Right now, I'm ready to say that's the guy.
Yeah, and you want to be careful with not like Julius Brents is kind of the shiny new toy a little bit. You know, after he puts up those numbers, he's the new thing. Joey Porter, that doesn't change how good Joey Porter is. It doesn't change how good, like you said, how good the situation is. And you got to be careful not to overlook one thing, overlook a thing you knew was already good just because something new good has also come, like a new good thing has also come along. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Julius Brents is, when you just think about the ground that he will be able to cover, you know, at being 6'4", being able to jump and run and move like he can with those
34-inch arms.
Yeah, like just when you think about the ground, like the space, that the physical space that he is able to take up on a football field, it's really hard to ignore.
Yeah, it strikes me as a Steelers cornerback. Like, that guy is a Steelers corner. And I think what makes the most sense is that he has a better opportunity to be there for the Steelers. Do I think they'd select him at 17? I think they'd think about it. I don't think they'd jump the gun there, but they've done that before with Terrell Edmonds. They've done it before with Artie Burns. They did it before with Bud Dupree. Maybe they would. If not, you got the 32nd pick in the draft. Like, he's going to be there at 32 most likely. Wait it out. You don't have to rush on a corner. You go draft Jordan Addison maybe, if that's another guy that you're very, very interested in. And then you sit back and you get a guy that is an instant starter, that's huge, that has all the physical traits you need, and that could come in here and fill your biggest need with ease. Brents is a dude.
Right.
Brents is definitely a dude.
And I'm a little afraid that I wouldn't be upset with reaching for him at 17. Like, if all those other top corners are gone, like, I think it almost lines up perfectly for them to take him at 17.
17.
Yeah, I think he's going to skyrocket after this week. I think he's going to put on, after the show that he's put on, I feel like teams being able to see him up close and personal in this kind of environment is going to make him just shoot right up. Like, I don't think his stock is going to fall between now and April.
So are you going Julius Brents or are you going Jordan Addison?
Well, like you said, I'm less confident that Jordan Addison's going to be there anymore.
Okay, but if they're both there at 17 and you're the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Probably Addison.
Probably Addison. What do you think the Steelers would do if they're both sitting there at 17? But there was no other cornerbacks on the board. Joey Porter Jr. is gone. Devin Witherspoon's gone. Christian Gonzalez, Ringo, all gone. Cam Smith, gone.
Probably Brents. Just because they need him. You know, they need a corner more than they need a receiver, right? Like, I don't know. This is complicated. So. Like, I'm sorry. What did you think?
I think they'd go Brents as well. I think that they like Calvin Austin. I do think Omar Khan tried to blow a little smoke at us to say that they're a little bit higher on Calvin Austin right now than they were. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Calvin Austin is, if they don't get Jordan Addison, Calvin Austin is the day one starter in the slot. And I don't think they're upset about that. I think they're actually super excited about it, as they should be. But if they get Addison, they feel like that's an immediate upgrade, which it is. And Calvin Austin's still that explosive guy off the bench that you feel very good about, so that's no worries there. But just like you said, you need a corner. You very much so need a corner. So, I don't know. Very impressed. I think it is. At the beginning of yesterday, I was heavy on Steelers got to draft Joey Porter. I just think that makes too much sense. I think he loves it there. I think Mike Tomlin's going to love him. I think they have the connection, the whole nine. Jordan Addison saying that, I took that as a direct message that he had an incredible meeting with the Steelers, that Mike Tomlin told him, maybe if you're there, we'll get you. Kenny said, yo, I want you here. And then he said, come get me. And then I think they're going to try to listen. And then Julius Brents going off like he did today just kind of makes things a lot easier for Pittsburgh.
Right, and Addison had that come get me. Like, don't wait for me to fall to you. Come and get me.
If they trade up for Jordan Addison, I don't know how I feel about that one. I think it's a waste of whatever pick you have to give up to go get him, because there's so much talent in this draft. I kind of feel that about every position, though, right now. Like, I'm not feeling good about Joey Porter Jr. to go up and get him, or Christian Gonzalez, or Devin Witherspoon, or any of them.
Definitely not a corner. No, there are too many corners for you to trade.
That's what I'm saying. There's too many corners. You already have a wide receiver that you trust and feel good about at the slot on the roster. The draft is loaded. Like, use your picks. You have 7 picks, and you have 3 in the top 50 and then 4 in the top 80. Use your picks. Don't trade up. Don't do anything dumb. Just get who you can get. Best guy on the board every single time. And, get talent. There's just so much talent in this draft that you don't have to worry about that stuff. So, I don't know if I'm into the moving up thing. But
yeah, I'm kind of with you. That makes a lot of sense. Like, don't overextend yourself trying to hit a home run. Just hit some doubles. Hit some solid doubles.
That's what I'm saying. Just base hits, score some points, feel real good, load up. You have a lot of positions that you need to fill. Fill as many of them as you possibly can. Don't be shooting for the stars for one guy. And don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah.
Don't sacrifice the rest of the draft for one guy.
Exactly. Especially in a position that you already kind of feel comfortable in. So I think that the Steelers are feeling the same way. But if Addison's there at 17, if Brents is there at 17, I mean, maybe we got a little bit of a story developing here at the NFL Combine.